There is a place on this planet where a grand journey begins. It's a place where the desert meets the ocean, where you can see the lines between the desert and the sea becoming one. That place is among the lagoons in Baja California Sur, Mexico. It is where one of the planet's greatest journeys begins every spring, the migration of the gray whales. Every spring, gray whales gather in these lagoons to give birth to new calves and to nurse their young before making what may be one of the longest, if not the longest, migrations in the mammalian kingdom. Being in the presence of such gentle giants is an experience unlike any other. Gray whales live between 55 and 70 years, and they are as big as a bus. Watching a mother teach its calf the basics of being a whale and how affectionate that process is speaks volumes to the forces of nature that bind these creatures. To witness firsthand the affection a large whale and her calf share at the start of this journey is the stuff of storybooks. But it's not just the interactions within the whales that is amazing. It's the way the whales coexist with humans during their time here that is most surprising. Here, the gray whales are so friendly, they pursue human encounters. It is the only place where this happens, and it is among one of the most satisfying experiences I've ever had. This unique behavior, found mostly in these lagoons, is an up-close and personal greeting that at first catches you by surprise. And then you soon realize that this place is the one place on this planet where you can touch these magnificent animals, all on their own terms. Here, they seek human connection. It is a fascinating behavior, especially considering that not long ago, humans brought them to the brink of extinction. Yes, this place exists, and yes, the whales do love to be rubbed and scratched. They love eye contact, and occasionally, if you're lucky, a kiss. And when it comes, you experience a natural connection that words just cannot describe. As I captured these images, I quite literally felt connected to these giants. The splashes of a human hand on the water seems to bring them closer, sometimes just for the joy of getting their heads scratched. Whether they drifted alongside or curiously made eye contact with me, being next to one reminds you of just how small you are in this world, yet how much effect each one of us can have on it. One of the most famous lagoons in Baja California is the San Ignacio Lagoon. San Ignacio Lagoon is a gray whale sanctuary that is vital to the species in every way. It is here that these whales give birth, teach their young how to swim, how to feed, and prepare for the grand journey north. It is one of only 2 undeveloped nursery and breeding grounds of the Pacific gray whale worldwide. Like people, gray whales are right or left-sided, and older whales actually become blind in one eye from the continued contact with the sediments on the ocean floor. They have 2 blowholes on top of their head, which can create beautiful, distinctive heart-shaped blows at the surface, a unique characteristic among whales that once seen, you will forever notice. Within the lagoon, the spouts are visible for miles, and the whales approach you in a way that has to be seen to be believed. Perhaps this is why, not long ago, the gray whale population was nearly exterminated by hunting within the lagoon. At one time, it was estimated that less than 1,000 individuals remained along the Pacific East Coast. The lagoon sits within the largest wildlife sanctuary in Latin America, and in 1993, the UN declared the lagoon a World Heritage Site. And rightly so. It's a remarkable place of beauty and nature that plays a vital role in the natural environment of the Eastern Pacific. I was fortunate enough to witness the magic of this place for a short period of time. If anything, I got to experience just a bit of what the journey of the gray whale means. But like the whales, it was time for me to head north. North to Point Dume in Malibu, California, some 800 miles away. It's another iconic location in this grand journey. It is here where I know I have a chance to see the very same whales I touched in Baja. Point Dume has for years been a landmark for passing whales. Often seen near shore, they dazzle onlookers with their shallow water acrobatics. Today, Point Dume is a marine protected area. By the time they reach Malibu, they are not even a quarter of the way to their final destination into the waters of Alaska. Because they are so easily spotted here, this location too became a prime target for whaling until protections were put in place in the 1930s. They often stop here to grab a snack, roll in the sand, and perhaps take a break for just a moment. A little further north, the whales continue their journey. They come within a few meters from the highway that runs along the Pacific coast. The gray whales pass Malibu along two distinct paths. I don't know exactly what determines these routes, but it is an observation I've noted. I realize the odds of filming the same exact whales I filmed in Mexico are slim. However, the idea that they will pass along this very coast is captivating. While they still display the fact that they are experts of the shallows, in Malibu, they do not approach humans. Their behavior on the shores of Malibu is vastly different from the behaviors I observed in Mexico. But it is here, in Malibu, where I first met these creatures and I learned about this journey. Using DNA and genetic testing, researchers estimate the size of the gray whale population to have been between 76,000 and 118,000 individuals prior to whaling. For context, today the population of the gray whales is currently between 19,000 and 22,000. While I search, I will continue filming scenes like this that underscore the true gracefulness of these animals. Here in Malibu, it's evident these whales are on a mission. But the mission is not without its risks. Unfortunately, in recent years, hundreds of gray whales have begun to wash up on the western coast. By one estimate, the total population of the species along the coast dropped by more than 7,000 individuals, or a quarter of the population, between the years 2016 and 2020. It's not known exactly what is the cause. It's more likely a combination of natural factors combined with human factors. It is a fact that humans do impact their journey. This is a gray whale entangled in a fishing net. After experiencing a gray whale's curiosity with humans, its grace and its kindness in Mexico, capturing footage like this is nothing short of heartbreaking. This whale, unfortunately, did not survive, a victim to the very species that it more than likely approached as a friend at the start of this journey.